Welcome back to this edition of Grizzlies Daily. I'm your host Malik, and let's talk Summer League. It finally started. It kicked off in Utah with the Utah Classic or whatever it's called. I gotta be honest, they change the name up every year. And the Grizzlies played the OKC Thunder in the first matchup, and the Grizzlies came out on top 92 to 80, thanks to a great performance from G.G. Jackson and Jalen Wells, both combining for 20 points each. Great game overall from what I saw. Clearly, what we learned from that game was that guys like G.G. Jackson and Jalen Wells, they don't need summer league, which is something that we already knew. But it was good to see Jalen Wells on the court playing very aggressive, hard nosed. We absolutely love to see it. A lot of people noticed that with Jalen Wells that he looked noticeably bigger. And that was something that I really appreciated seeing. I love when guys take the time to improve and realize that, hey, I'm good, but I can be better. And it's good to see Jalen Wells is like that. Obviously, Jalen Wells, great story. Even when he got hurt against the Hornets that put him out for the season, he was with the team and really cared about the team the whole way. And Gigi Jackson even said after the game that stuff like that from Jalen Wells, it takes the pressure off of guys like him, and it also motivates him because Gigi has worked on a lot of things himself. I mean, we're talking about a guy that played 29 games due to a foot injury in last year's off season that put him out for the start of the season. So, great thing to see. It really was a great thing to see. Cam Spencer played great too. Great fourth quarter. One thing we learned about Cam Spencer right there was that he's one of those players that you cannot leave open, and that's something that I hope with this full contract that the Grizzlies really look into giving Cam Spencer more time off the bench. I mean, I think a lot of us would have appreciated if those minutes that he had, that Luke Kennard had, they would give to Cam Spencer. But obviously, with the two-way contract, couldn't really let that happen. But now that Cam Spencer's on a full-time contract and Luke Kennard is out, I think in Atlanta, I'm looking forward to seeing what they have. Some other notable performances. Javon Small, he played 18 minutes. Didn't really shoot the greatest, but I will say that first half from him definitely showed me a lot of promise of where he can be offensively. And obviously, he really would have to earn that spot. I mean, you got Ty Jerome, John Moran, and Scottie Pippen Jr. that you're kind of going up against when it comes to space in the rotation. But Javon Small, he definitely is showing flashes of potential, and that's something that I can really get behind. The only real concern from that game was Zion pulling. Shot 1 for 9. Didn't really look comfortable out there. It looked like he rushed a lot of his shots, and that's something that really kind of concerned me because this is a guy that's been on the two-way for a minute, and you can tell the Grizzlies are kind of banking on him to develop a little bit, but it's not really looking the greatest right now. Now, this is all based off of one game, so I'm not going to say too much, but he was really like the only person that really looked uncomfortable out there. Other than that, I really got nothing to say. Grizzlies play later tonight against Utah Jazz, against Ace Bailey, who obviously struggled in his first game against the 76ers, but it should be a good matchup. I'm all for it. I really like watching Summer League. Really like watching these guys. A lot of people don't watch the G League, and the Summer League is that opportunity for people to really tap into the young talent that you may not know about until they make it up to the main roster or they really make a name for themselves. So really like watching Summer League, and I can't wait to see today's game as well. Now, we did get some news over the weekend regarding the Grizzlies. Okay. I'm sorry. Well, hey, this is recorded, but we're gonna break it right here. Breaking news from Shams. This isn't involving the Grizzlies, but pretty interesting trade dealing with some targets that we've mentioned on the channel. So we're gonna take a quick intermission. It's reported by Shams that the Clippers, Jazz, and Heat have agreed to a trade that sends Norman Powell to Miami, John Collins to the Clippers, and Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and a 2027 Clippers second round pick to the Utah Jazz. That is a very, very interesting trade. I have some thoughts on that, but that's kind of besides the point. Just wanted to break that out there because we talked about the possibility of the Grizzlies targeting two guys in Norman Powell and John Collins. Well, that seems to be out of the equation now. So there you go, right there. But back to the main thing that we came here for. Jay Huff traded to the Indiana Pacers for essentially 2 second-round picks, and then minutes after that, the Grizzlies signed Jock Landale as a free agent. My thoughts on this is the one person that I'm happy for is Jay Huff. I mean, we're looking at an Indiana team that's not going to have Tyrese Halliburton, more than likely playing through Andrew Nembhard and T.J. McConnell to be the playmakers, and then then Miles Turner goes to Milwaukee. So Jay Huff finally gets a chance. He gets a proper chance to show that he's a stretch big on a starting team. So I'm really like the move for Jay Huff. I hope he gets the opportunity that he deserves. Love this time in Memphis. Really wish we kind of kept him. I really wish the team kind of banked on him to really showcase his talent. I get he's a little on the older side for newer guys, but Jay Huff brought a lot, stretch big wise. He was great in the corner for a three, even the top of the key. Good defender. Obviously, he has some concerns with rebounding, but yeah, I mean, absolutely wish we kind of kept Jay Huff, but at the end of the day, I get it. It's a business, and you do have to make tough decisions. Like I said, I kind of wish I'll be honest, in my personal opinion, I would have thought the team leaned further away from a guy like Brandon Clark and kept Jay Huff, but clearly they saw eyes in a different direction. Now, when it comes to Jock Landale, I'll be honest with y'all, I don't really know much about Jock Landale. I really don't know much except that he played for the Suns and the Rockets, and he served as a serviceable piece for the team. He wasn't really the greatest, but he was a serviceable piece. And I feel like that's exactly what he's going to be here for the Grizzlies, a serviceable piece, nothing other than that. I mean, there's nothing about Jock Landale's game that really stands out other than, I would say, rebounding. Other than that, there are still some concerns in that. Serviceable defender, just not a needle pusher. It's not a needle pushing move, but then again, when it comes to the 5 position with a team like the Grizzlies that's fast paced and more focused on pushing the tempo, you're not asking for much out of Jock Landale. But also that does bring me concern that the Grizzlies do still need to go after more because, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, you're going to rely on Brandon Clark that's coming out of injury with Zach Edey being out. It just brings a lot of concern. So I kind of have my think pieces on this, but I would rather let it play out because there's no telling what the possibility is going forward in the future with Landale and the Grizzlies. So that's just something that we really have to see. Now, something else that I peeped online on Twitter specifically, seeing multiple reports from Australian publications that center Will Magnay, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Will Magnay, he could be on the main roster for the Grizzlies. He's currently signed to the Summer League roster. He didn't play in the first game, but there's a possibility he could play this game. Along with a guy like Jemai Mashak, who actually the trade was finalized yesterday, so he is eligible to play in the Summer League now. He wasn't able to play in the first game because the trade wasn't finalized with Golden State, and now it is. So he is available to play today if the Grizzlies choose to play him. But Will Magnay, from what I've gotten, he is a decent center that could serve a purpose, but also at the same time, I got to be honest, from what I got from what people are saying, he's not much better than the Jock Landale, if I'm being honest. It's not much better than that. Hopefully we get to see him play today. He wasn't able to play in the first one due to a wrist injury, but hopefully we get to see him play today, kind of see what the Grizzlies potentially could see in him because he is on the Summer League roster. But multiple reports say that he could be fighting for a spot on the main roster. Now, if we're speaking just Summer League in general, the only other person I think he's kind of is fighting for is Armando Bacot, who's still developing it as well. He's played on the hustle and stuff. So kind of interesting. Like I said, not too much intel when it comes to things like this, just more so on the radar kind of thing. So it's not a surprise that, if he does get a main roster spot, it's like, hey, we kind of saw this coming. So that's really just the main thing. But other than that, I really don't have much when it comes to him. Just something that I kind of peeped rumor-wise. So just something to kind of be on the lookout for. And obviously, we're going to be following and studying his game in the summer league if he does play. Obviously, dealing with an injury right now. Now, in other news, kind of disappointing on my part because I was really high on the Grizzlies, kind of going after him. But the Grizzlies essentially are out of the Jonathan Kuminga sweepstakes. It's been reported that Kuminga they essentially narrowed down the teams that could go after Kuminga, and the Grizzlies aren't listed as one of those teams. Now, it really comes because of the Warriors essentially are moving off of Kuminga. There's no signs of any traction of bringing him back, so they're essentially going to let Kuminga walk. Obviously, this is going to be through a sign and trade, but they're essentially letting Jonathan Kuminga walk, no questions asked. And in that report, it was listed that the Kings are basically the strongest pursuer. Nothing on the Grizzlies, so I would say the Grizzlies are out on that. Like I said, kind of disappointing, but with the re-signing of guys like Santi Aldama and Cam Spencer, I guess the Grizzlies kind of realized that, hey, we don't really need him. I mean, you still got G.G. Jackson, Jalen Wells, guys like that, and then you got Cedric Howard coming in. So I think they realized that they're good when it comes to the wing position. Obviously, with free agency, it would have been difficult to get Kuminga on, but it just would have been like a cool little dream thing that I had in mind. Obviously, this was before many moves were made, so not really upset by it. Just more so a little disappointed, but because I really like Jonathan Kuminga's game. But hey, maybe they see a player on the team that is Jonathan Kuminga, but they have him on a lesser contract. Because obviously, you would have had to pay Jonathan Kuminga a good amount of money to bring him along, because he is worth it. He is an NBA champion, and he is a serviceable piece that could work on anybody's team. So, just to follow up on that, no real rumors on any more deals when it comes to the Grizzlies, but I can say that I think with full confidence the Grizzlies are not done. I don't think it's going to be a big splash move unless we just absolutely get caught off guard or hear some type of rumor. But I don't think it's going to be a big splash move. Probably going to be another serviceable veteran. Hopefully a front court piece, because that's really the main concern. When it comes to the back court, the point guard, shoot guard, small forwards, I think the Grizzlies are good. I think they're good. There's not much else you can really do. Obviously, you're still looking to move Cole Anthony, but I don't know what you get from him. But I would say go after another big that can work, because at the end of the day, you can bring a Jock Landale to be a serviceable piece, but at the same time, you want guys that can still stretch the floor. And Jock Landale can't really do that as much as the next guy. So hopefully we see some kind of update, a change, trade, signing something. If not, then we just have to deal with what we got. But at the end of the day, we just have to watch on the sidelines. We're not the team, so just something we really have to keep an eye on. But that's all I really got for this edition of Grizzlies Daily. Obviously, I will be back tomorrow to give you all a recap on tonight's game against the Utah Jazz, and then give you more rumors if I come across any that may be worth bringing to you all. But other than that, appreciate you all for tuning in. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when the next video comes out. And as always, leave a comment if you have any thoughts, any concerns, or anything you just want me to talk about. I'm more than willing to address it. So as for this edition of Grizzlies Daily, my name is Melek, and I'll see you all in the next video.